You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, an absolute magnificent vibration. Born risk takers, free. Conditioning takes place on Earth. It can change it. It's nuts. Books goals. You know something? You're sitting there watching this, you're thinking, I can really change something. We say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you. Therefore, you are quite capable. You set your mind to you really can. You know what the setting started for listening to some of your peers. All you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now. You can see it, you can do it. The beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need.
You know, I love the quote by Bruce Lee. It's one of my favorite quotes. He says, I was never worried about my opponents who practice 1,000 moves. I was worried about my opponents who practice one move 1,000 times. We have a dog in us, but we need to bring that dog out. We need to feed it. You are the only problem, the only solution. When we make a decision, mountains move.
The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. What you're seeking is on the other side of fear.
If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your step. Set so big it jazzes you, really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the light. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind wakened up day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous. For they may test their dream with open eyes to make it possible.
Hi everyone, welcome. Today is day 3. I actually can't believe it's day 3 already. And I am so grateful to you all, so grateful. So if you can hear me, well, please give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up in the chat. I am back and I'm so happy to be here. And before we get on with the day, I just wanted to go back a little bit on day 1, a little bit on day 2, before we move on with day 3. So we're still waiting for everyone to join in. And I know we've had technical issues before. Fingers crossed. Of course, everything will be good today. So do type in the chat and let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. You can see me well. I would love that. So at least I know I'm not just talking to, just the ceiling or the wall here, but I'm actually talking to people. So this will be really good. Perfect. Yes, good. Great. So first of all, first things first, winners. I really love when people do their work because, as I said, my whole intention for this whole week is about closing the knowing and doing gap for you. We know it all. We've read the books. We watch listen to podcasts. We watch YouTube videos. You are here for a reason. And the reason is that, yes, you know it, but you cannot turn that into your results in life, like concrete results, tangible results in life. And my intention throughout this has been about actually helping you create those tangible results in life. So, oh wow, I love when Zoom gives these signs and all. So take it as your sign that you want to now. You're ready for some quantum leaping. You're ready for some creating some tangible results in your life. So we did put a draw in, and we've got 3 winners that we would like to reward for the past 2 days. And then, of course, keep doing the work and we will still reward you. So Caroline Church, it's your name, Emma, and then Nicola Sterling. 3 names that have been drawn out. So well done for doing your work. Can I please ask you to either DM me or one of my team members? You will find them in the WhatsApp group, or email it to us at info@soulbygagansingh.com. Your addresses. I would love to send you some presents, okay? Because I really reward people who do the work, because that is one thing, I'm starting my podcast, and I went to just look for some podcast studios. And there was this guy who does a technician thing, and he asked me, do you like content creation? And I said, yeah, I absolutely love content creation. And he says, oh, very few people like that. And he said, do you find it hard to be consistent? And I'm like, not really, I'm consistent at least 5 to 6 days a week, if not less, with my putting out on social media. It's like, oh, wow, that is actually really good. He said, I don't find people generally like that. And I said to him, what I'm going to say to you as well, discipline over motivation. Once you've made a decision in life, and I think that is so important, what do I really want, right? And once I've made a decision, this is what I'm going after, your mind should then only be focused on that. Your mind should only be focused on, this is where I'm going in my life. And yes, there will be fear, and we will be talking about fear. And yes, you will face some, your old identity that's going to creep in as well at times. But at the same time, when you are in your old new identity that you're creating to match the goal, the old identity has to become obsolete. And I'm going to talk more about identity on Saturday, because I want to dedicate the whole hour on identity. Even if I dedicate 6 months, it won't be enough. I'll be very honest with you. And because identity is such a big piece to understand, first of all, and then to apply to your life. The embodiment of the identity is really big. It's not easy, and I don't lie to you. You do need, because your old paradigms will show up. Your old version of you will show up every day. So that's why they say, right, when you're in the right room, it helps, right? Right now, you have started doing the work. Like you can see, you're already putting the work in. You started thinking differently about your goal. Now you're not thinking whether I want to achieve this goal because my family wants it, or my partner wants it, or for anyone. You started to think about, what do I really want? And that's the most important question that you can actually answer. What do I really, really want in my life? What is it that I really want? Not anyone, but what would I love to achieve in my life? And I think when you start going with that question, you start asking yourself that, what do I really want? Life will start showing you. You will start finding out, oh, this is what I love doing. This is what I really enjoy doing. And I would love to take this on. But yes, decision really is very important there, because guess what? Indecision is also decision, right? You are deciding not to move forward. And the thing is about when you're not moving forward, you're not just standing there, you're moving backwards in life, because the whole world is moving. And look, in the day and age we live in, especially, like everything is just moving so fast these days. So do read that article on decision making. It is on the portal. Also, do subscribe to our channel, because if you've not subscribed to our channel, you cannot comment. So I would say, please subscribe to the channel, so to the YouTube channel, so we can actually read your comments. And also, I'll be launching lots of videos, so you will always have them. So like I said, give yourself a pat on the back, because day 1, people they show up, but day 2, day 3, it's a choice. And it's a decision that you have made. And I'm really, really happy. So I'm going to repeat the names for the people who have actually won the books from me. It's Caroline Church, it is Emma, and it's Nicola Sterling. So well done to you all. And what I'm going to do is I am going to start getting my slides out, and I will kick this day off. I'm so grateful that you are here. I love it, absolutely love it that you're here. And let's start. So today is day 3, and it is all about faith, because it's so important to understand faith, because this is not something that you will be able to get rid of from your life, right? This is something that will be a part of you. But when you start understanding what really faith and fear is, so I didn't write fear there because I think I wanted to focus on faith, because the antidote of fear is actually faith in life. So when you really understand, I'm not talking about religious faith here. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just talking about faith within yourself, faith in your product, in your services, in you. That is the most important thing. And like I always say, fear is never a stop sign. It's the edge of your old identity. And whenever that fear comes in, today I'm going to show you how do you really go past that fear in life as well. Okay. So on day one, Monday, I asked you to set a goal, which is really audacious goal, right? Like really audacious, like, wow, I've never thought I can even achieve that. That's the type of goal I asked you to set, because that is the right type of goal. That is the goal when you are really inspired in life, goal that excites you and scares you at the same time, because only in that moment you will really become that version of yourself, that grandest version of yourself that will be able to achieve something, right? Then yesterday we looked at your belief system, and we came across that, yes, the self-image, that is the seed, has got, your behaviors, you've got your habits in there, you have got your beliefs in there. All of that is coming in, that's in your subconscious. Let me just get my stick person out. It's all in your subconscious. So that self-image is also a paradigm. We looked at the word P, paradigm. So self-image, your habits, your behaviors, the way you think, it's like a lens, how you view the world from that lens and yourself. And then once you've accepted that, everything in life is according to that, right? So once you start changing the behavior, everything starts changing. So yesterday you all drew the stick person, and I asked you to look at how much has your paradigm costed you? And I'm going to come back to that question as well. But before that as well, like I asked you to look at one behavior, one habit that now it does not fit in with your new goal. For example, you are an overthinker, and that doesn't fit in with your new identity, with your goal where you want to go in life, or with a new goal in life that you've said. Maybe you're like, I need more visibility. Okay, how am I going to create more visibility? So one behavior that you have to shift is, or a habit that you have to develop is, to start showing up. Maybe it's online, maybe it's in the networking events, but you have to start showing up, becoming more visible. So whatever choice you take, that's fine, but you have to pick up one and stick with it, right? So I want you to tell me in the chat that, did you pick up that behavior? Did you kind of counted all your paradigm, how much it's going to cost you, or how much it has costed you so far, your old paradigm, or not yet? And when I'm asking, it's not because I want you to judge yourself, or I want you to kind of be like, oh my gosh, I didn't do it. But it's the truth. And I think the first thing about any type of work, any type of growth, is to really be honest with yourself, have that self-awareness, really being honest with yourself. So the ones who have said not yet, they're not weak people. That's fine. Now you have the awareness. They understand the paradigm, perfectly. They took beautiful notes, and they still did not move. And I know, and they are the not yets. I'm not saying they're weak. I'm not saying they don't have the understanding, but it's about transformation. And transformation only happens when you apply something in life. That is something I always say, like I said, it's a knowing doing gap. It's a closing of that knowing doing gap, right? Yes, Emma, you have done it. Well done. And that's why you are one of our winners. Amazing. I love that, right? So you're not weak. No one is weak here. We all have that understanding. We just need to take that responsibility, take that ownership of a life, and be there. Okay. So what actually is learning? Learning is not I know more. Learning is, in the same circumstances, I behave differently. And I think that's where a big piece of identity will come. I was talking to someone just like maybe an hour ago, and they're coming on a retreat. I'm hosting a retreat in Bali in October. And, they kind of just, they paid for it. But they were just asking me a question and show up, that shows that how your identity has shifted in life, right? So same circumstances, same situations, but you have started behaving differently. And that's when you know, oh, wow, I have actually transformed. You don't change your behavior just by gaining knowledge, right? Would you all agree? Give me a thumbs up if you all agree that you just do not change your behavior by just gaining more knowledge. You change your behavior by doing things differently, by responding to situations differently, by thinking differently, by changing your perception differently. And that is why, like I said, I agree, you do need sometimes help for someone to help you with that. So that's why people do need mentors in life, because they can't see beyond what they can't see, right? Like if I look at world, just the football right now, everyone was in that football fever, Ronaldo, Messi, all of these amazing players, they're amazing, they're world-class players, but do they have mentor? Yes. Why? Because they also know that, if they keep playing the same way, they don't shift how they kick or whatever they do in football. Don't ask me the terminology, but they have to learn how to respond better. So if the ball is coming this way, how can I actually make the goal if I do this way, right? So they're always like skill set and mindset that you need to improve on all the time. And we're always evolving, always evolving. So make sure that you do your homework tonight, because today I'm going to actually move you out of your comfort zone. If you think until now you were moving out of your comfort zone, forget it. Tonight is the night when I'm going to really push you out of your comfort zone. So give me a thumbs up if you're ready for that. Really give me a thumbs up that, yes, I'm ready to be moved out of my comfort zone, because you know what? Sometimes we all need that in the back. Like, come on, you can do this, right? And today, that's the day. I'm going to move you out of your comfort zone, push you, because that's how you're going to really achieve your goal. And that's why I asked you on day one, write the 7 whys. Why do you need that goal? Why do you want that? What is the purpose behind it? What's the reason behind it? Because once you know the reason behind it, that this is why I want it, you are emotionally connected to the goal, really emotionally connected to the goal. And that emotional connection is very important. I'm going to give you an example. I just had a new client, and I had my, I did an in-person thing with her on her business. We were just working on her business, really very new in my coaching. And I asked her what her goal is, because we were just on lesson 1. And I asked her, why? And she said, yeah, the house. I would love to have a house in, not sure where did she say. I think she said, oh my gosh, Bahamas maybe. Don't quote me on it, but I think she said Bahamas, or no, not Bahamas. Somewhere in the Caribbean anyway. So she said somewhere in the Caribbean. And I said, are you really emotionally involved? Like, would it really matter if that doesn't happen to you? And she's like, not really. And I said, that's not the right goal then. Because if it doesn't matter to you if it happens or not, you're not going to get out of your comfort zone. You're not going to push yourself to do things that you know you should be doing, but you're not doing. And then I asked her, okay, so then we digged more deeper. What will this work if if your business becomes successful? How's it going to change your life? And that's when she said, although my kids are adults, but I would love to support them. How I've been really living in, my house is about, like, whatever her story was. So that was an emotional connection because of her children, because of not the dream, not the holiday home that she wanted, but her house in this own country and other things. And I said, oh, that's your emotional connection. And that is why I want you to really, like, since day one, I've been asking you, gain clarity on what is it that you want? Like, what do you really, really want? Like, what is it that you really, really want? Because once you know what you want and why you want, how is not your job? How is the universe's job? So when you get very clear on this is what I want and this is why I want it in my life, then you know what? How is not your job? Then your only job is left is to transform yourself, to really work on that identity that is needed to get where you want to be in life. And part of that would be, how do you tackle fear? Because fear is going to come. Come on, you know what? Fear is going to come. And that's my whole point today. I really want you to understand what is fear, what is faith, and how do you then swap this fear with faith in life and really get to your goals? So who's excited? I'm really excited. Like I said yesterday, not broken, you're programmed. So some of you must have thought, maybe you got angry on yourself, maybe felt emotional that how long have I been doing this? And I always said to you, please do not do this from a place of judgment. And so many of you wrote down yesterday about, what do you call it? This is how much my paradigm has costed me. And, like someone wrote peace, someone wrote something. I want you to know how much does that peace cost you in life, right? Because if you put a financial amount on that, you can never put an amount on peace. That's how much it has costed you. You probably observed the opportunities that you kicked off. I know for myself that I really pushed beautiful relationships from my life because I just did not feel I was worthy of a good relationship or of love, or I'm lovable because I always saw myself as the victim of life. So the conversations that you did not have, right? The price you didn't charge, the decisions you delayed in life. So I didn't design that exercise to make you feel guilty, or it was designed to make you aware that if you keep carrying on with those paradigms, if you keep carrying on living your life the same way, like you have been living for how many years you have been on this planet, do you think anything is going to change in your life? Nothing is going to change, nothing at all. So you can keep getting information, but nothing actually will transform in your life. And that is why I wanted you to be here tonight, because this is exactly what we will be talking about tonight. Because awareness is the first step, 100% first step, but it's not, you can be aware and you can still have the same old results in life. So that's why awareness alone is not transformation. Awareness alone, is the first step towards that transformation, 100%, but it's not going to change your results in life. Okay, so I know the minute you started thinking big, you started imagining a different future yourself. What if this doesn't work? Your inner dialogue was, or what if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I'm not capable? What if I lose the money? And most people assume that something must be wrong with me. And maybe the goal is wrong. And this is something I keep getting as well. Maybe my goal is wrong. Maybe I need to change my goal. No, once you know what you want, you do not change that goal. Yes, you might have a detour in life, and yes, you might have to, maybe course correct in life, and that's fine. But the goal is right, and you are correct as well. And maybe you have this voice of, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe this isn't the right time. I want you to know all of that is completely wrong in life. No. So the fear is not the problem here. Okay. I want you to understand the fear is not the problem. Misunderstanding what it is the problem in life, right? And this is what I want you to change. And this is what we're going to change tonight. By the end of this night, I want you to see fear very differently in life, very, very differently. So I want you to imagine that tomorrow morning you wake up after I've kicked you into the deep, out of your comfort zone today. I want you to really maybe close your eyes for a minute and be with me, that you wake up tomorrow morning. Yes, it's the same bed. Yes, it's the same house. Yes, it's the same room. But you don't have that doubt in you. You do not have that fear. Will this work? I'm not sure. You don't have that voice. What if I fail? That voice is gone and it's been replaced with something different. It's been replaced with, instead of asking, how do I get rid of this? You ask a complete different question. How do I show up to it? Ask yourself, how would you feel when you wake up feeling confident, believing in yourself, knowing that, I will be guided, I will be supported whenever I need it. And that, voice of doubt is very dim. Maybe it's there. I'm not saying in one night it's gone. Maybe it's a little bit there. Maybe it's gone completely. But you are more powerful and you feel that power in you. How would that make you feel tomorrow morning? And that's what it is. There it is. When you wake up, the old programming is gone and you show up with your new identity. And that's what I want. You don't panic. You do not retreat. You do not spend 3 hours trying to send an email or, kind of contacting someone or going to your boss and asking for a promotion. You just do it. How would that make you feel in life? And ask yourself, what would you do if if the fear wasn't making the decision today? Imagine, how would you run your business? How many of you have stopped yourself, and you can open your eyes if you want to now, but how many of you have stopped yourself from doing something you really wanted because of fear? Because fear of failure, fear I don't have enough money, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, uncertainty, looking stupid, being seen online. Type me in the chat if this is something that you have faced that has stopped you from moving forward. Any of it. What is it that stops you? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of rejection? Is it fear of uncertainty? What is it for you? Is it like people will make fun of me? Type in the chat. I really want to know, because that's what I'm going to help you break today. Which one of it is? If you tomorrow showed up differently, you don't have the fear, fear of failure is gone, fear of judgment, which one is it for you? Because you need to be aware, because that's what we're going to work on today on you, right? So let me know in the chat, which one is it for you? Fear of ridiculous. Okay, loss of money. I love that, Emma. So becoming aware. Okay, so you have that fear, and that's why, can you see, when you want to earn more money and the fear is I'm going to lose the money, can you see the contradiction in the conscious mind and the subconscious? Which one is going to win? Even if you get that money, you're going to lose that money, because that's the fear you are being run by. That's the fear in your subconscious. So it's so important to kind of change that. So vital. I can't even tell you, so vital. So let me know in the chat what else is there for you. And before I actually put on, or before I go actually further, I want to share a video with you all, because I think it's such a powerful video to see. And it's all on fear. It is of Will Smith. And so just give me a second. I'm going to pull that video up, because I really want you to watch that video, because it's really going to change the way you really see life. While I'm doing that, can you, everyone, continue to let me know what is the fear that you all have? Because I would love to know that. What's the fear?
Skydiving is a really interesting confront with fear. I gotta stand up. Well, the night before, and you take a drink with your friend, and somebody tells you, yeah, you should go skydiving tomorrow. And you go, yeah, we'll go skydiving tomorrow, yeah. And you go home by yourself, you're like, You're like, well, yeah, I mean, they was drunk too. So then that night you're laying in your bed and you just keep, you keep imagining over and over again jumping out of an airplane, and you can't figure out why you would do that. So you get there, and then you have the safety brief, and you're standing there, and the guys would say, well, if the chute doesn't open, what's going to happen is you're doing, well, why the hell, what could happen? So you get onto the airplane, and you're sitting there, and it's extra because you're sitting on some dude's lap, some stranger, trying to make small talk. Yeah, man. You be jumping with people all the time, huh? So you fly and you go up to 14,000 feet, and somebody opens the door. And in that moment, you realize you've never been in a freaking airplane with the door open. Terror. And then people start going out of the airplane. And the guy walks you up to the end of it, and you're standing and you're turned on the edge, and you're looking out down to say, all three. Two, and he pushes you on two because people grab it. You fall away, and in 1 second, you realize that it's the most blissful experience of your life. You're flying. It's zero. Realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear. nothing for. Why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Everything up to the stepping out, there's actually no reason to be scared. And then in that moment, the second where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of fear.
I absolutely, oh, sorry, just give me a second. Not sure where this is now. Yeah, isn't that so beautiful? I absolutely love that because it is so important for us to understand what is fear doing in our life, right? What is fear doing? It is stopping us. It's really stopping us, right? And he said two things which were so beautiful. First of all, God placed the most beautiful things on the other side of fear. And I totally agree. Think about it when we get pregnant, right? And we have the baby and we're all very scared. We want to, we're going to deliver, we're going to deliver. And isn't that the most beautiful experience? We are always overthinking. And fair enough, because we've never done that before. But that happens in life all of the time. Before you post your first video, you feel that's, like I remember when I did my first webinar, I was like, oh my gosh, and you do it. And then you feel so good because you've done it. And then you grow from there. But the first time is always the scariest one, right? But then you keep getting better and better. And that's why I love sharing this video because it's such a powerful video. And the other thing he said, overthinking. How many times do we really overthink in life? How many times? We are always overthinking, and that overthinking keeps us stuck in life. So, yeah, it's just that. Okay, I'm going to get my slides back so I can show you. Here we go, and move forward with that. So, what would you do right now? And I want everyone to type in the chat. What would you do right now if fear wasn't making the decision for you? Right now, the fear is there. Fear of losing money, fear of, I can't read what Claire has written. It keeps stalling and the sound is, and this, oh, did you mean the video? Were you not able to hear the video? Oh, that's a shame. I will post that in the group, guys. I'm not sure what happened, but I'll post that in the group. But yeah, I want you to understand what would you do right now if fear wasn't making the decision. But can you hear me properly? Let me know that as well in the chat. How would you run your business? The conversations you would finally have, the opportunities you would say yes to, right? If the fear was allowed to no longer be present in your life, what will you do? What will you do? So do let me know in the chat. And I want you to understand what fear is really. We all are very familiar to certain things in life, right? Your current income, your current habits, your current self-image, your current results, it's all very familiar, the relationship and everything that you have right now. So your old life is very, very familiar to you, right? And your new life is unknown. And that's why you get scared, because you do not know what's going to happen there when the C-type goal, you accomplish that. What's going to happen? And the moment you start moving towards the unknown, the fear is going to appear. The doubt will appear. The worry is going to appear. You will hit that wall of terror barrier. But what most people do, and not just most, I think almost all, if I have to be honest, it would be 97 to 98% of the people in the world, they want to go out of their comfort zone. It's not that they do not want to go out of their comfort zone, right? But what happens is they hit the terror barrier, they hit that wall of fear, and they go back into what was comfortable. Why? Because they're doing everything what they're doing. So right now, if you're in that comfort zone, in the first box, you're familiar with the life you're living, the habits you have, and you're doing everything. You're listening to podcasts, you're listening to meditations, probably reading books, you're doing everything, but you're doing it all from the prison of your mind because you're stuck there. You're really, really stuck there. So if you're doing all of that, but you cannot get past, out of your comfort zone, the reason is this. The reason is because you're doing everything from the prison of your mind, because it's very familiar to you. It's present, but it's very familiar. And doesn't that happen with you? Every time you try to go and stretch yourself, you go back into the bondage. You keep going back into what is familiar to you, right? So you need to understand that your C-type goal, the life that you desire, is on the other side of the terror barrier wall. It's on the other side. And most people, they start moving, the fear shows up, and right back they go. They turn around and they go back. And it's not because they're incapable, not because the goal is impossible, because they interpret fear as stop. And once they see this picture, they'll start recognizing it like, oh my gosh, it is fear. It is fear that's happening in my life, right? So I really want you to understand that. That's where, and your goal is way out of that, something that you've never done before, something that you never had before, something you've never been before. Your old life is familiar to you, but you have to face the fear. But the thing is, most people think that, oh, yes, I have this fear and I can't do it, and they stop. But have you ever tried to understand fear in life? It's there for a reason. It's there for a purpose in life. It's only there. It's not there to stop you. It's there to warn you that you are getting out of your comfort zone. You're getting out of that prison wall here. That's the job of fear. The job of fear is not to stop. So when you're in a plane as well, right? And I'm going to go into this actually. I'm going to talk about the example first. Even when you're in a plane, the turbulence happens. But he understands you can't like that, but it's not tell you to go back. They still carry it, and then the aeroplane will come back to its course, but it will face some turbulence and it comes back to the course then. And the way the mind works, when I was talking about this yesterday as well, the way the mind works, it often chooses discomfort over unfamiliar freedom. Or the freedom is unfamiliar and you desire freedom in life, but it will keep taking you back to all of those old experiences, all of those old habits that you have, belief systems that are keeping you comfortable, right? So people do not retreat because they're weak in life. They retreat because the known, however painful it is, it registers as safety than the unknown. That's why so many people stay stuck in relationships which are dying, because it is safe. It still feels safe to them. So it's so important to understand what is familiar, what is unfamiliar, and to make that familiar unfamiliar in your life and make the unfamiliar familiar in your life. So right now, ask yourself, where is the familiar discomfort that you have chosen right now in your life? Where is that familiar discomfort? Where have you chosen it? Where is it showing up in your life? Where you know that you do not like it. You know that if I face this, I will have freedom, but you're going back into what is familiar to you. And that is what it is. The 4 stages that every person moves through. It's bondage, reason, conflict, and then freedom. So if you want to gain freedom in life, yes, you will go through this process. Bondage is that you keep getting results you do not want. Same money, issues, same procrastination, same self-doubt, and you wonder why. Right? And then you discover something new. So I always say that you have this, you have old beliefs, you've got everything here. And then here I come, I'm going to give you a new idea. Discover something new, a book, a goal. You can see the new life in your mind, but nothing has changed yet. And that's where you go in conflict. Like you have a new idea, you want that life, but you've got all of that old programming. Remember, it's just programming. It's not you. There's nothing wrong with you, but it's just programming. And all of that programming is here, right? But now what happens is the part of you wants the new life, and there's a part of you, that means your conscious mind wants the new you, new life, everything, new income, new relationships, new health, whatever it is that your goal is. And your subconscious, which is all your programming parts, that wants you to stay safe, worry, fear, anxiety, all of that. And you think something has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong. It's just now that you've hit the terror barrier. You're growing. So fear doesn't mean that, there's something wrong with you. Fear doesn't mean you stop. Fear means now you're growing. But look where you are right now. Maybe you're in a stage where you are in the conflict zone. You want a better life. Because if you're on this call, let's be honest, there is more potential within you. You know that there is more to life, right? Type in the chat. Let me know. Do you feel that, yes, that I can achieve more? Yes, there is so much more out there for me. But then you want it, but then you keep going back into the bondage. You keep going back to the bondage because that feels safe. That feels familiar to you, right? But you need to understand that it's beyond this wall that your goal lies, the freedom lies. And that's what I want for you. It is almost never more information that you want. It's whether anyone is standing next to you, when it gets loud. And that's why, people say, have that tribe, have that proximity, that when it gets louder, there is somewhere there just to guide you, right? That's what it is. Nothing more than that, right? So nobody ever taught us how growth feels, right? No one ever has taught us, no one. So when you feel that growth, right, and you feel that tightness, it's like, the tightness, the doubt, the sleepless hour at 3 a.m., we read it as a warning. But then we turn back, believing it's a sign to give up. No. What if it was never a warning? What if it just is growing pains? Like, we get growing pains. Children get growing pains. Why can't we get those growing pains? And like I said, like turbulence is most when the plane is climbing. It's not, when the plane is smooth. It's the most, it's then, right? And like I said, the pilot doesn't say, let's stop. You course correct and you go back. You leave something familiar. That's it. That's what it is. So what if the turbulence that you're feeling inside you wasn't the evidence that you were failing in life? What if it was simply that you're growing in life? So don't think that there is something wrong with you. There is a problem within you. No, there isn't. There's nothing wrong with you. Your subconscious is just trying to protect you. And it's trying to protect you, but what is it that you want? Do you want new life? Do you want your old life? Do you want to accomplish what you want, or do you just want to go back into bondage? What is it that you want in life? See, I told you that we all have this beautiful inner GPS system, right? We all have this. And that is just jammed right now. It's not broken, it's just jammed. And the thing is, the old programming, it cannot distinguish between what is danger and what is unfamiliar, right? So the genuine danger, that there are only two types of fear that we were born with. You walking through a jungle, hearing a tiger's noise, and to really tiger or any deadly animal, right? To protect yourself, right? You can't just stand and say it's a limiting belief. Of course, it's a roar, right? Run for your life, save yourself. And the other is heights. Any other fear is just human-made. It's literally human-made. So, and it's because something that you're doing because your old identity hasn't done that. I felt that for so long in my life, right? Every time I would try to do something and I would go back into I'll share my story tomorrow. Like tomorrow, you will hear more about me. Anytime I wanted more income and I did yoga courses and I went back into bondage, never kind of finished it or kind of took it off, right? Then I became a hypnotherapist. Again, went back, did a little bit, went back again into bondage. Why? Because every time the fear would come and I would go back, retract, right? But when I really understood, oh, this is fear, this is just growth. I'm just going through those growing pains in life. Once I really understood that what it is and what's the purpose of it, understanding is power. Understanding is really powerful. When you're going to understand what it is here for, you can change it, right? So if you right now, maybe the sales call feel very unfamiliar to you. Going live maybe makes you, that fear. Maybe raising your prices in your business is making you that. Maybe investing in yourself is fearful right now. Saying out loud, I want this as my goal, maybe is scaring you. I remember when I did my challenge, I didn't do it last month, but the month before, there was a person who said that, oh my gosh, this is the first time actually I've spoken that I want this in my life. Until then, she had never told her husband or her family what she wanted. So it was such a beautiful kind of a freedom point for her that she could actually go and speak. Actually, she did that on day 3. I remember now very vividly, because she came and told us that this was what I was scared about, telling that this is what I really want to do in my life. And I think that was really a freedom point for her, because then she could focus on what she really wanted in her life. So isn't that beautiful when you can do something like that? And then, just do that. Okay, guys. Am I in danger? That's the question that you have to ask every time you now, moving forward, you face fear. Am I in danger, or simply it's unfamiliar? Write this down. Write this for yourself. So anytime you feel that, it is there for you. Am I in danger, or am I simply unfamiliar in a situation, right? And unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. Remember that. New does not mean it's wrong. And fear does not always mean stop. I really want you to take a snapshot of this slide or write this down, because let's be honest, the fear is going to come, right? But you need a better question. You need a better tool next time. What am I going to do? So think about when you achieve, especially think about your C-type goal right now. When you really think of your C-type goal, what is the biggest fear that comes into your mind? I want you to write that. When you think of your C-type goal, what's the biggest fear that's coming into your mind? What is that? Type in the chat and let me know. What is that biggest fear that is coming into your mind? Is it what will people think? Because I know people made a lot of fun of me. What will my family think? What if I can't handle it? What is it for you? Right? What is it for you? Think about achieving your goal. How would that make you feel? What will my family think? What if people laugh at me? What if I fail? What is it that comes to your mind? What's your biggest fear? What if I can't handle it? I know someone wrote about money. What if I can't handle it? What if I change? Write yours in the chat. I want to know. And maybe there is something different. I want you to write in the chat. Let me know in the chat. What is it for you? Which is the biggest fear that comes to your mind when you're thinking about your C-type goal? What is it for you? Because then you can see, oh, it's just a fear. It's not real. And I'm going to help you kind of, crack it right now. So tell me honestly in the chat, which is the biggest fear, especially with your C-type goal. Someone's wrote in the group that they would love to earn 130K per month, right? Someone says 6 figures in a year. Everyone's goal is different. Someone's is health, someone's is relationship. But when you think that you've achieved that goal, what is the biggest fear that stops you? Is it how I'm going to handle it? How can I do it? I'm not sure if I'm good enough. What is it for you? Let me know in the chat, please. Now, when I was earning 3,000 pounds a month, my biggest one was what? It was, how the hell am I going to do this, right? I was so terrified. Like, I want to earn 10,000 pounds. That was my first goal, remember? And then, but fear was really real, because I had responsibilities, 2 boys, I did not know how I'm going to get there. What if I fail? I'm leaving this job. It's a secure job as a teacher. I'm going to leave this, start my business. I've never done a business in my life. So I had all of those thoughts, like really clouding my mind. My old identity was really trying to keep me safe, and it knew really well how, because I was always in that survival mode. So it was really trying to keep me where it knew how to survive. But I was done with surviving in my life. I was done with settling for less in my life. So the fear felt real. It really felt real. But the fear was not that my future is going to not be successful. It was my past trying to protect itself. That's what it was. Because for so many years, I had not done a job. And at the end, I just got a job, which was, paying my bills. And so I did not want to leave that secure job, which was paying for my bills. So it felt really real to me, really, really real. So not what if I fail, ask what if I don't go? If I don't go after my goal, what's going to happen? Next year is going to pass. Next 3 years is going to pass. And if I would have listened to you, if I would have listened to where I was, I would still be a teacher. I was talking to my sister-in-law the other day. I've got 2 boys at uni. I was talking to my sister-in-law about this. Like, thank God I did not, I did listen to myself and I went for it, because I do not know how as a teacher I would have paid for my children's uni fees or their accommodation and everything. Like, I just I can't comprehend. So I'm very, very grateful to God and to myself as well for taking that step and understanding that this is just my old identity. I absolutely love this quote. Like, this is one of my favorite quotes. The cave you fear to enter holds a treasure you seek. And that is so true. The cave that you really fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. You know, when the baby is little, when the small baby is there, the baby doesn't say, you know, I've tried walking 3 times and I'm not going to do it again. No, it just keeps going, right? It takes action, and that action creates evidence in life. And evidence creates belief, not the other way around. A lot of people are waiting for the evidence to come first, and then they will take action. Of once I have more clarity, then I will. You know, once I have this, then I will. No, you have to move into action first, and then the evidence will build, not the other way around. You know, I thought I had to believe completely before I could act, but no, that is wrong. I wish someone had told me this sooner. You know, it was a mistake. It was really a big mistake of my life. I wish someone had really told me. I didn't have to feel ready. I didn't have to remove all the blocks. I didn't have to, you know, I just had to move into action. And that's what is important. You know, I waited to be ready. It costed me time. It costed me panic attacks, right? It costed me my life. But how do you create a belief about something you've never done? How? That was the question that I kept asking to Bob. Like, how do I do it? And then, you know, he said, just move into action. Just move into action. The minute you will start moving into action before you are ready, you know, your belief will start coming. Like, I'll be very honest to you. Like, you know, I have this habit now. Since then, I developed this habit of just saying yes to opportunities, just saying yes, whether I've done it or not. And I remember when I started this journey, you know, Toastmasters, I'm not sure if you all know, because I thought I was not good enough as a speaker. And I thought I'll just join Toastmasters to improve my public speaking. And I joined it. And I think on day 2 or second time, they said, would you like to be the president of Toastmasters for this year? I do not even know what Toastmasters was really. And on my second visit, I just became the president. And not because I knew what to do, not because I was confident at that time, but because I had promised myself that I'm just going to say yes to every opportunity, everything that I get, I'm just going to go forward, right? And that's what I did forever since then. And that's got me where I am in life. Oh, let's do this. Okay. You know, I run a networking event in my where I live in Geraas Cross, and I do that. And I had never run a networking event. It's been 2 years now. And it was just one of my clients and I were on a call, and we were talking about something about action steps. And it's like, oh, there's no networking events around here. And we said, let's start it. And we just started it. And, you know, the way I go is, oh, let's get the date out, and then we'll figure out everything at the end. And that's how it needs to be. You need to start moving into action, because when you move into action, first of all, you didn't get the time to overthink, for the fear to creep in. So this is how it's really good. When you move into action, that's it. You just, you know, you've tackled the fear. So, and this is the logical trap that keeps people really stuck for decades in life. That first I need to believe I can earn. So they start doing affirmations. First, I need to get good at doing this. First, I really need to believe. No. And your mindset is based on what? What are you believing? It's just a number, right? So, like I said, it's just a logical trap that keeps people stuck for decades. And it's, you know, just adjust the figures to match your audience. Like, you know, literally just do that. You just move into action towards your C-type goal. That's what you do. The last thing that I really want to share, because I know we do not have much time as well, is about faith. Because understand this thing. Belief and faith are not the same thing, right? Belief and faith are different. And right now, what you're doing is you're waiting for belief to happen first, right? Belief is, I know I can because I've done it. Built on past evidence, looks backward for proof and everything. But faith is, no, I know, I'm just going to do it. And if you really ask me, you know, I'm just going to close these slides because I really want you to just be in this energy right now, what I'm going to talk about. Faith is the antidote of fear in life, right? And right now, you might say, I do not believe in myself. I do not have enough faith in myself. I do not have enough faith in what I do. But I want you to know you are practicing faith every single day. but you're practicing, you're placing your faith in fear. That's what's happening. What is faith? Understand the meaning of faith. Faith is believing in the unseen. Faith doesn't mean I will see it when I believe it. Oh, that's what it means actually. Faith doesn't mean I will believe it when I see it. Faith means actually I will see it when I believe it. And that's what you need to do. You are right now placing your faith in fear. Think about it. Every day you're practicing faith. Every day, whether it's you ordering a Domino pizza, whether you are, ordering something on Amazon, you get into a cab, that's placing faith. All of that is faith. So you can't tell me, oh, I do not have enough faith in me. You do have, but right now, you're not putting it into your goal. Right now, you're not placing that faith in yourself. You're placing it in your fears in life. And that's where you have to really, really kind of be like, no, I'm going to stop putting my faith in fear. I'm going to put my faith in faith. I'm going to put faith in myself, right? As I said, you do not need to know how, and you do not need to know, you just need to know what I want and why I want. And when you are very clear on what I want and why I want, then there are unseen forces that are going to help you. But you have to move into action. That is one thing, because once you start moving into action, like I said, you can take, like my son is 18 and he's learning how to drive car. And I can't just give him a manual and say, go learn the car. He has to actually move into action. He has to sit there, probably with me or, the instructor or someone, not with me, completely, never with me, actually. I tell him because, no, I don't even, no, not with me, for whatever reason. So I just tell him that, I can't just give you the book and, I can tell him to drive. He has to actually either learn from someone or start practicing it with someone, but you have to practice it. You can't just take a book on swimming and, visualize all day how to swim and you will go in the swimming pool and start swimming. You actually have to start learning how to swim. That is with everything in life. So right now, maybe you're not, maybe the skill set isn't there, right? Because you've not practiced it enough. But do not tell yourself a story, I'm not good enough, because you've not practiced enough. So that is why action is so important. Such an important piece of the puzzle. To act, to move into action is so important. And for me, that is also expressing faith. Really expressing faith in life. And I've got so much that I want to talk about faith and fear, but I know we are running out of time. So one thing that I really want you to do, which is very, very important, I think I have to get my slide back for that, because I really want you to understand. Okay, let's go through this slide. I'm not sure if I could be able to go through any other slide. Fear is all about what if I fail, right? You haven't failed yet. What if they judge me? They haven't yet. There's a yet there. But because you've not done it, you do not know. But faith asks, what if I succeed? What if they say yes? What if this works? You always tell yourself, what if this doesn't work? And I always tell my clients, what if this works? What if this works? What if this, that question in itself, and I always tell, like, if you come to me and say, what if I fail? I'll be like, how do you know it's going to fail? How do you know it's going to fail? You do not know until you try. So believe in something that you cannot see yet. That is the most beautiful definition of faith. Believing in something that you can't see with your naked eyes. So type in the chat, which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose faith? Or that should not be goal, it should be fear. What are you going to choose, faith or fear? What are you going to choose today? Faith or fear? Let me know in the chat. I've gone through that. This is the chain. Yes, the moment, once you act, you will create evidence, you will gain confidence, and you will change your self-image like that. Okay. Yes, the door is uncomfortable. I get it to walk through, but it's not locked. It's for you to open that door. Okay. This is what I want you to do. So we are going to practice faith today. It is so important. So 3 things. You have 3 options, by the way. Don't have to do all 3. Of course, do the homework in your workbook and post in the group. But first is go live in our group. If you have the fear of visibility, it's not for everyone. It's for the people who have that fear of visibility. And maybe it's not going to allow you to go live in the group, record a video and post in the group, right? Do that for yourself. So if you have a fear of visibility, do that. In our group, it's private, it's safe place. 1 minute explaining what have you learned so far in this challenge, what has shifted for you. Nothing needs to be perfect, nothing, just go and do it, right? Or recognize what has been stopping you. Do the one thing that fear has been stopping you from doing. It could be sending a message out. It could be maybe sending an email out, reaching out to a prospect. It could be having that difficult conversation that you've been sitting on. So make that decision that you have been postponing and act on it. And then come back and tell us in the group or in the WhatsApp which was the action that you took. And then come and tell us what you did. Record it. Maybe do both of them and come and record us and tell us what did you do. So that is what I really want. And remember, I'm going to be there supporting you. My team will be there supporting you. And I want you to take this action. So who's in with me in taking this action? Let me know in the chat that you're in and taking this action. Please take this action. And let's do this, right? So I'm going to give you a countdown from 5 to 1. And when I say 1, go back and do it right now. And the reason I want you to do it right now is because you're in the right energy. You are feeling a little bit of inspiration in life, like inspired. Go and do it now. And tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is really a big day because tomorrow we talk about decision. How important it is to make the right decision in life, to make a decision, even if it's not right, but to make a decision, because indecision is also a decision. So we'll dig deeper into decision because nothing happens until you take a decision. Again, it only remains information. So nothing happens until you make a decision. So today I want you to make a mini decision of going and doing this live, making a recording, posting it, or anything that stops you. It might not be visibility. It might be something else for you, but do that and come back and post it in the group. So I'm going to say bye to you for today. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be amazing. You will hear my story as well. And I'll have someone special talking about fear as well tomorrow and power of making decision in life. So that would be really good. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Lots and lots of love to you all. But before I go, I'm literally going to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you go and do the thing that you are scared of doing. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Love you loads. See you tomorrow. Go ahead.